blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time. All right. Wow. I have not heard that theme song in a long time.
Me too, man. It seems like forever since we got a chance to hang out.
No doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to Blaster, the rock and metal podcast right here on Blast Media Networks. I'm known as the Veep. I'm the vice president of Blast Music 247. And I have the honor of introducing my dear friend, Tim Steinruck of The Mighty One. Tim, how is it going, my friend?
It is going so good. I'm sitting in a beautiful hotel room in Whistler, British Columbia at the Hilton. I'm at the Hilton Hotel.
Nice.
And I've had a beautiful day off. Went and ate some tacos, did some songwriting. I'm up here with Red Bull, with the Crankworks thing where they do the crazy downhill mountain biking and stuff like that. So it's a really, really cool event. As you know, if you've ever watched the Joyride will be on Sunday. I mean, what these guys can do is just incredible. And today we were supposed to do the downhill, but there was thunder and lightning and rain and all that stuff. So it just didn't work out. So that we went dark for the day today, but it gave me a great opportunity to catch up on some emails, and like I say, do some songwriting, eat some tacos, have a nap, all that good stuff,
Wow, you're living the life right there. Tacos and naps.
Yeah, totally, dude.
It's no better than that.
Totally.
So is the whole gang with you, or is it just you?
It's just me up here right now. Yeah, I mean, this is I think my 5th or 6th year doing this up here. I work with a video production company. Okay. And I have one of these really cool mobile video walls. So you tow it behind a truck, and it kind of like unfolds, like it's kind of like Transformers. So it looks really small on the truck. I mean, it's long; it's about 30 feet long, but then it just it kind of transforms and stuff like that. I've got like a remote, and I put this thing together, and it's like 30 feet high by 20 feet wide. Wow. And we broadcast the race on it, and so it's a really cool thing. A little bit of a challenge because it's on the side of a mountain, and putting that kind of technical thing on the side of a mountain can sometimes be a challenge. But it's a lot of fun, and the people here at Red Bull and Crankworks and all of the amazing athletes are just so much fun to hang out with. Hung out in the hot tub with a lot of them today, and, so life is good.
You living the big life. That's not cool. So let me ask you: is this downhill kind of like X Games? Is it kind of like that?
I wouldn't say X Games, but if you look at the Red Bull channel online, you'll see Joyride is probably the most extreme mountain biking that exists in the world. Like, wow. We're talking guys flying through the air, doing like triple and quadruple flips with their bikes and jumping like 100 meters through the air, and it's total stunt racing. But yeah, it's a big competition. Obviously, Red Bull is a very high profile company. And these guys are putting their lives on the line oftentimes to make this whole thing go down. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. So I see you just having some wonderful adventures, and I know you just got back from Colombia, right?
Probably one of the biggest adventures I've ever had.
Wow.
I,
Hmm.
I, I got to tell you, like the whole thing. Just even when I was offered this in February, I've got a social media manager, and he lives in Colombia. I've
Okay.
got some really big ties to Colombia simply because I've been marketing the Mighty One and my own personal stuff down there for quite some time.
Okay.
And so that actually, yeah, I think it's almost a decade now I've been marketing music down
Wow.
there. And so the opportunity came up to open for a band from Spain. They're a very famous metal band called Obus, and they're celebrating their 45th anniversary this year. And so they're doing a tour of South America, and the promoter is a friend of my social media manager,
Hmm.
and he offered for us to come down and be the opener for the Colombian leg of the tour.
Nice. That's nice.
Yeah,
So I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to play one of the video shorts you gave me,
yeah,
and then we'll come back and you can break it down for us. All right.
sounds good. Sounds
Let's
good.
check this one. So let me ask you this. I was noticing you while you were watching the video. You had a smile on your face. Tell
Yeah.
me tell me what's the joy that was, going through your heart at that moment looking at that video.
Well, it's just, when you have dreams
Mhm.
and they become reality, there's just something that the soul just smiles. So that smile you saw was right from my soul, because this is something I've been wanting for a long time. It's something I've been envisioning for a long time. So to actually go there and do that, and that was the first show that you just saw there was Bucaramanga. So Bucaramanga is this really cool town. When you land with the plane, you land up way up high on a mountain is where the airport is, on this
Okay.
plateau, and
Mhm.
then it's like a 45 an hour drive down into the city,
Wow.
and it's incredibly lush and jungle like and hot. Oh man, it was so hot there, and so it was just a great way to start the tour. I
Mhm.
mean, I got to tell you that the tour actually started 3 days prior to that,
Okay.
because what ended up, or 4 days prior, because we landed in Bogota. Now, I was talking about how the challenges of this tour. So we were offered this tour, but my bass player and my drummer could not come.
Hmm.
Those two guys over there, they could not come on the tour. So it was like, oh man, how's this going to work? Like, I mean, and so I talked to my social media manager. He's also an incredible guitar teacher, and he said, Tim, no problem, we got it covered. He says, I'll play bass,
Nice.
and my friend's an amazing drummer. His name's Pipe, and he'll play drums. Like, we've
Wow.
got we've got a few months until this happens. So send us the tracks, and we're gonna learn it. And so we were basically
Wow.
virtually rehearsing for a few months before we went down there. And then when we got to Bogota, we actually locked out a rehearsal space for 3 days and really ground out the set, because, it's not just about playing the songs. It's actually about putting together an amazing set.
Right.
And so, yeah, we were all staying at this amazing Airbnb together, got to know each other, and had these great rehearsals, and then went on this show. And it was the first of 6 shows.
Oh, man. So let me ask you this. How did the audience receive The Mighty One? How did you feel they received your band?
I gotta tell you, like, I've toured in a lot of places in the world. I have to say the Colombian fans are some of the most passionate fans I've ever met. I mean, they were just open armed. They were, so much energy. There was never a night where you felt like you were trying to get the crowd going. The crowd was going every night, and I think we've done a good job of sort of making people aware of who the Mighty One was and our music. So, I mean, there was a number of nights where I looked out in the audience and I saw people actually singing along with the songs. They knew the songs, which, as an independent artist, first time going to, another continent, another country, to have that happening, that was like, holy crap, this is just amazing. Yeah, so I gotta say those fans are some of the best fans that I've ever played for, and I look forward to the next time. I really do.
I can honestly say there's no bigger compliment you can give an artist than to sing his music. Oh my goodness, that gives you a whole different kind of energy.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, and you've seen the song "Kicking Stones," which is a ballad, and it's about suicide. That those people love their power ballads. That emotional thing with the piano and everything. I mean, honestly, they had me in tears. They were in tears. This emotional connection that was happening was just absolutely incredible.
Wow, that's amazing. So let me go ahead and click another link, and we're going to keep going and sharing. So
all right, let's relive the tour. I love it.
Let's do it. Amazing. Now, knowing me, I'll jack up the name of the city. Is that Pereira? Is that how you pronounce it?
It's Pereira.
Oh, of course. I didn't roll my tongue. Got it. Got it.
I got schooled, man. I got schooled. I had some good Spanish phrasing happening by the end of that trip. But yeah, Pereira. What a cool place that is. Very, very rock and roll. Again, a very, very lush tropical environment, and but a real rock town. I got a big shout out to Kiliche, who is the owner of that club. Probably one of the biggest independent music supporters in Colombia. Everybody knows this guy. He gives every band a chance, doesn't matter how big, how small. And oh man, we left there with a little bit of a headache because the beers would not stop coming.
And here I am thinking he's going to say the music was loud, but okay. Nothing wrong with that at all.
But I want to do a big shout out to Dick Caraval. So Dick is actually he runs the official Megadeth Colombian fan club.
Nice.
And he agreed to come along with us to do social media in real time. Set up a lot of interviews. I was working, had interviews with like very influential social media people and influencers. So he was just incredible at guiding the band through the whole process. Because, I mean, if we wouldn't have had Colombian people with us, if it would have just been, these guys that you see behind me, we would have been so lost. We would have been so lost.
Understood.
Yeah, we would have been so lost.
Understood. My goodness. I am under the belief, Tim, that people outside of the United States, they treat music a lot different than we do here in the States. Mm-hmm. Meaning music is really a part of the soul to those overseas. Like,
it's true.
It don't matter the genre. They treat it with a whole kind of type of reverence than us. I think we're a little flippant in the U.S. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And even I noticed this in Europe too. Is that outside of North America, musicians and artists and creators are held in a much higher esteem because of what they add to the cultural fabric of that country, right?
Wow.
And so there's a lot more respect, and you're treated very like royalty. You know what I mean? Yeah. Wow. There's a lot more support. There's a lot more respect. I find in those countries, but especially in South America.
Because here's the perspective I'm looking at for you guys, right? An independent band, like you said, going overseas, being loved on, their music is being repeated to the band.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really hear that. At least not in the States, you don't hear that.
No.
So what I want everyone to realize is that the fans took the time to know the lyrics. It doesn't come instantaneously. It's repetition that gets that. And when it's in here, it's a whole different thing. Wow.
100%. I have never signed so many autographs and taken so many selfies as I did when we were in Colombia. Like every night was just after the show, even as the main act is playing, Obus, which most people were there to see. I mean, even that, it just never stopped until it was over. I would say probably, like, we had posters. I think I brought 400 posters. We came home with a handful. I tried to sign posters for everybody that was down there. So everybody got a piece of the Mighty One. Everybody got a little memento. We sold right out of merch. We were out of merch within the first few shows. It was.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Something came to my mind that it's kind of embarrassing to share, but it is what it is. When I was 14, and that was a while, ladies and gentlemen. I remember going to Paris, right? And at that time, Michael Jackson was very big. Now, I don't even look remotely close to Michael Jackson, maybe the color, but I used to have the hair. I don't now. So they would just assume Michael Jackson. So it's funny how fans adhere to artists, but like I said, overseas, it's a whole different ball game. And I appreciate you sharing that, because that should be aspiration really for any independent artist, that you too can also have that experience. But would you say there's a little luck involved, Tim?
I think there's a little bit of luck, but it's mostly hard work. I mean, I think it's about and it's about marketing, spending the time, and engaging personally with
Yeah.
fans. I did
Keyword.
get, yeah, I did get a little bit lucky with Columbia, where in 2017, our very first Mighty One single, I sang it in Spanish. Our bass player at the
Mm.
time, his name was Gustavo Valderrama, and he's held in pretty high esteem in that country as a musician, as a producer, and as a live music engineer. But he and I developed a friendship working in music production here in Vancouver, and he encouraged me to do a Spanish version of our
Mm.
big single.
Wow.
And it was such a great idea because national radio picked it up, and it ended up being in the top 100 rock songs of
Wow.
2017. So
Nice.
that really established, we really planted our flag,
Hmm.
with that song, and the relationship with Colombia has just grown, and South America in general has grown since then, because this radio station, Radionica, and a big shout out to my friends at Radionica, this radio station is listened to all over South America. It's held in very high
Mm.
esteem. They break a lot of new bands.
Nice.
Yeah, and actually, I had a chance to sit down with both of the two DJs. I went and visited them personally while I was in Colombia and spent time with them, which was incredible.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep this moving. I'm gonna go ahead and click another link for us.
All right,
Uh,
where are we going now?
let's see. Let's take a look. Oh man.
That was
So,
that was that was the big show. That was the big show
oh,
in
okay.
Bogota. Bogota is the capital of Colombia. Huge city, huge city. And yeah, that particular gig was supposed to take place at a place called Ace of Spades, but the
Mhm.
show sold out at Ace of Spades, and they decided to move it to this place called Capitol Music because they needed space for another few hundred people. I think there
Wow.
was 800 people at that one. Yeah,
So
sold out.
tell me, how was the energy in there? What was it like?
Well, I can tell you one thing. The people were, of course, were super hyped because massive Obus fans in there. We again, we've got some great press there, so they knew who we were.
Hmm.
But what really stuck out for me is that it was so damn hot. It is so humid in Colombia, and that night especially was in Bogota. Honestly, the walls were actually running with wetness.
Whoa.
Like that's how that's how hot it was in there. So I mean, we were just everybody was absolutely soaked, and you're taking selfies and hugging people, and it was just one big wet awesome mess.
It's funny how Heat will let you know who the real fans are. Oh
And
my goodness.
one of my favorite memories from that is because it was the last show of the tour. Obus was heading back to Spain after that. So when you want to buy a shot at the bar,
Hmm.
you can't actually buy just a shot. You have to buy the whole bottle.
Hmm.
So I bought a 26 of Jack Daniels because that's the most rock and roll liquor you can possibly
Of
get.
course. Of course. Why break tradition?
And when Obus came off the stage, we sat and drank that bottle of Jack Daniels together. And even though there was a language barrier to a certain degree, it was so special. There was so much love between both bands, and we're making plans right now to go to Spain and go and tour with them
Wow.
over in Spain.
Amazing.
Yeah.
See, this is for those who don't know, Blaster was created to showcase rock and metal podcast, excuse me, rock and metal into dang, I can't talk, Tim. Rock and metal independent artists all around the globe.
Mhm.
That's what sole purpose. And I love to hear these opportunities opening up for my dear friend because it's letting you know that if you're an independent artist, these things happen. But he said the key word: hard work. Laziness will not get you this. You have to sell yourself with this music that you have, and you have to be content and know that this is genuine article and you are that. So Tim,
There's also I got to say the
yeah.
other the other thing that's there, Troy,
Mhm.
and this goes for all things in the music industry. If you really want to get ahead, is you
Mhm.
got to be willing to take risks.
Risk.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this tour, there was no way that we could get paid for this tour. Yes,
Mhm.
the back line was taken care of. The hotels were taken care of. We had a meal every day, but the rest of the expenses, getting there, getting around, all of that stuff was on us. So the
Wow.
band all invested in that,
Mhm.
and we're talking at least five figures to make that happen.
Yeah.
But I felt, after talking to them and just trusting my gut, my intuition,
Right.
is that it was a good risk, and it was a risk that was going to pay off, and
Right.
it has paid off. There's
Mm.
really big stuff that's happening. Something we haven't talked about yet is getting Danny and Pipe, the bass player and the drummer, on board as Colombians. Not only did that really support us and with the language barrier and getting around and keeping us safe, because there was a few times where it was like, if those guys wouldn't have been around, we would have got jumped or some. They saw in the background stuff happening that I did not see, that I was oblivious.
Right.
We're in a different country, it's a different culture, and I mean, bad people are everywhere, but you got these North American guys who are coming in like rock stars and like, well, they must have some money, so we're gonna.
Oh
Anyway,
boy.
not only did that they protect us, but they did something very, very special to me, which was, as a coach and as a speaker and as an advocate for mental health and suicide prevention. They know that I love that I speak about that, and I sing about it too, and all that stuff.
Mhm.
What they did is they went to the university in their hometown of Armenia, not the country Armenia, but the city of Armenia in Colombia, and they went to the University of Trujillo, and they went and asked if it would be possible that I could come and speak at the university.
Wow.
And the university was totally open to it because they've lost so many of their students. to suicide. It's
Wow.
a major issue, and the government really doesn't have a lot of programs, if any, to support that.
Right. Right.
And so to come in and speak, and I've been practicing these things, these daily disciplines, which I call disciplines.
Hmm.
I've
Hmm.
been practicing them for over 5 years. I've actually started a group. We've got, I think, 20 some people on board. No, more than that now, because a lot of the people from the university are on board. So we're getting probably close to about 100 people that
Hmm.
practice these things every day in order to foster good mental health. And because when you work out, natural antidepressants are released from the brain.
Mm.
You know how you always feel better after a workout? I know you work
Right.
out. So there's
Sure.
sure.
It's either a fork or a mouse. Which one?
Anyway,
Sorry.
yeah. Anyways, when you work out 7 to 10 minutes every day, or
Hmm.
whenever you work out for 7 to 10 minutes, and you get your heart rate up. So I do
Right.
something called a HIIT workout, right?
Hmm.
High interval training, right? Where you hit it hard for a minute, take a 20-second break, hit it hard for a minute again, and do that for about 7 to 10 minutes. What ends up happening is you release beautiful hormones from the brain: serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins,
Hmm.
all these beautiful things that are natural antidepressants, which almost kind of get you high a little bit. It's what
Hmm.
I call bliss, right? So
Right.
that's why I've called them disciplines, because the word
Mm.
discipline people kind of look at it and they go, "Oh, discipline means I getting hurt for something, or having to pay for something bad I did or something." So that's
Right.
why I changed it to disciplines. Anyways, I got to speak about these things at the university. So um, what ended up happening is Armenia, which was on the 10th of July, was actually our day off. So
Okay.
we didn't have any shows. Obus had no shows, and we decided to go. These guys set up this thing at the university. The university hosted us, put us up in a beautiful 5-star hotel,
Wow.
and anything that we wanted, we could have there. They got a venue for us that night, and we did a private show
Mm.
for university faculty, local music industry people, local government people. It was
Wow.
a beautiful networking experience. We actually got the drummer has a 10-year-old son. Juan Martin is his name, and he's a really talented drummer already. He actually got up and played a Mighty One song with us, which was cool.
How about that?
And and it was nice because it wasn't like, hitting people with song after song after song like you would in a regular show. It
Right.
was telling stories in between and talking about these things like suicide prevention and mental health, and
Hmm.
where the song came from. So it's kind of like, you remember that show, VH1 Storytellers. Remember VH1 Storytellers?
Hmm.
Yeah, so it was kind of in that zone a little bit.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was really, really cool. And then the next day, we went to the university. There was a coffee tasting. We went to the university radio station, did a live interview, and then I spoke for about 90 minutes at the university. And believe it or not, there was 350 faculty in their theater, because the
Mm.
kids are all off on holidays, right?
Right.
And so the faculty came because they they really want to support the students. So it was just this incredible
Wow.
opportunity that came up. And that would not have happened if I hadn't agreed to take the risk to
Mm.
go to Columbia, regardless of the challenges.
I am loving the fact that you now get to see the fruits of your risk, if you will,
Mhm.
because even with Blast, we built it during the pandemic.
That's right.
And if it wasn't for the pandemic, Blast wouldn't have been created.
That's right.
That's the
No,
way
it's
to look at it.
100%.
And you got to take risk if you want to be successful.
Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't make logical sense.
Right. 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 A lot of this stuff don't make sense to me, but I'm still going forward. So let me ask you this, my friend. Would you like us to play your music, and then this kind of coincides with what you were talking about in the at the university, and then you can
Yeah,
talk more about what you've shared and stuff like that.
sure, absolutely,
So, ladies and
absolutely.
gentlemen, this is the Mighty One. This is darker side of me. Let's check it out.
There's a place I sometimes go where it's raining, mist and cold, far away from peaceful light and warm. But I hold it, I embrace. Dark cloud shadows cross my face, Viking anger and a lust for more. And you reflect that part of me, and in your eyes I see the darker side of me. Always near, it walks beside me like a silent friend, a place to go release my pain, to hold it in would be insane, kiss the morning but embrace the night. You reflect that part of me, and in your eyes I see. You reflect that part of me, and in your eyes I see. I'm falling to the night. I'm falling to the
Yes, indeed. That was Darker Side of Me, the Mighty One.
Hmm.
Wow. I really love that song. That is a great
Thanks,
song.
brother. Thanks.
So tell us the inspiration of The Darker Side of Me. What made you write that song?
Sure. Well, I mean, we've all got a shadow side to us. I mean, when we walk out in the sun, even the brighter the sun, the more defined our shadow is.
Mm,
So the human experience is one of polarity. Okay,
hmm
um, there is dark and there is light.
Right.
and we all have that. Some people don't want to admit that. Some people don't want to admit that they have a dark side,
Right.
but yet it exists. I would go to somebody, for instance, a very very famous psychologist, Carl Jung, who said, working with the shadow and clearing the shadow and making friends with our shadow side is probably the most important thing that we can do in our lives.
Mm.
Because if we don't, it comes out in very destructive ways,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So just because you ignore it doesn't mean it's not there.
That part.
And that's, I think, the source of a lot of mental health challenges for people. And oftentimes, especially recently in the last few years since the pandemic, suicide is it's a major problem.
Yeah.
It's a major problem, and it's a major problem not only with veterans and people like that have seen a lot of trauma, but it's a real problem with youth, simply because they're not sure if there's even a future.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They look at what's happening economically and socially,
Right.
and climate change, all of those things, and the kids are oftentimes have a hard time finding hope for the future.
Yeah.
Right? Will they ever own a house? Will they ever have a family? A lot of couples that are getting married are like, we're not going to have kids because, why would I bring a kid into this situation?
I've heard plenty of people say that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that hopelessness is part of that darkness that I'm talking about. I'm a very spiritual guy, as you know. And I believe that there is a force that sort of oversees everything. It's a place I call it the Creator. It's where we come from, and all of that. And I can send you as much love and light as I want, but unless you're willing to dive in and look at the hidden parts of you, there's really not a lot that can be done. And people end up seeing that through challenges that come up in their life. Sometimes big challenges. Losing somebody, it can be a really big challenge, and you go to a dark place, So, I mean, I'm really passionate about that, as a coach and as a counselor and as someone who I am constantly looking for solutions to having good mental health, right? To having healthy relationships, to having a healthy relationship with the world, but mostly the relationship that you have with yourself. The most important relationship that you will ever have in your life is with yourself.
Yeah.
And that takes effort. That takes daily effort. And that's why I've developed these daily disciplines. So because it's a chance for at least 15 minutes to sit with yourself.
Right.
To lift yourself up so that you can be strong and rooted and grounded in this crazy ass storm that is going on all around us. All you got to do, I mean, back in the day, there wasn't social media. I remember a time when there wasn't even cell phones yet. I remember when there was no internet. You know what I mean? And life was a lot simpler because you weren't getting bombarded with all this stuff all the time.
You're right.
But now we are.
Yes.
And so there's a level of awareness and consciousness that needs to happen on our part in order for us to stay strong for ourselves and then for our families and for, as people like you and I who are public figures, being strong and inspirational to the
Yeah.
rest of the world and let them know that, you know what, there is hope.
Yes.
Yes, it's challenging, but there is hope.
Yes.
And here's a way to see how to get there. So, because what we think is what we create.
Mm.
What we see in our mind becomes our reality. So if you see the world as very dark and dystopian, guess what? That's exactly how it's going to be. But if you see the world as hopeful and that every single human has this beautiful light inside of them, you're going to go, there's hope for all of us.
Mm.
There is a way through this.
Yeah.
And so I think that coming back to what you asked about darker side of me is we need to embrace our shadow. We need to and do the shadow work,
That part.
you know, and
Yeah.
clear that away. I think that's so important. Like I
Yeah.
say, you know, lots of people out there going love and light and and hugs and and everything's going to be great and I'll pray for you and this and that, and that's good, don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
let's look at the hard stuff,
Yeah.
and let's and create a relationship with it where it no longer controls us, because if we're unconscious to it, it will control us.
A friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, had said, "Our secrets are making us sick."
Yeah,
Whatever you are sweeping under the rug, it is messing your life up, believe it or not. And when you're ready to go beyond yourself and ask for help, that's the first step for recovery.
absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
Community is so important, and so I'm so passionate about creating that.
Mhm.
Like I say, I feel like I've created a great South American Colombian community now,
Mhm.
interacting with a lot of those people. Like I say, this disciplined leadership group, just even what the Mighty One and my own personal project, Steinruck, all those things that it stands for. I sing about these things. I'm not just making music for the sake of making music
Right.
or just entertainment. It's got to have an intention to it, and so that's what I'm all about. I'm excited actually to let you know that just in the last week I got, because one of the byproducts of doing this work every day is that you get a much stronger relationship to your intuition and your instinct.
Right.
And so, I got the hit the other day. You need to start a concert series outside of all the other stuff that you do. A concert series that's based on kindness. So I'm starting the kindness concert series.
Nice.
2 Ks. The kindness concert with a K.
Mhm.
And I've got 2 other artists right now. Sarah Smith, who I just put a song out with recently. There's another couple of artists in Vancouver. I'm looking for artists that have music that has a very positive message to it, but it's about fostering kindness. There's a lot of cruelty
Yes.
in the world,
Yes, there
right?
is.
And it
Mhm.
seems to be increasing, right? The
Yeah.
dark is increasing, but the light is increasing too. But there seems to be a lot of cruelty and greed and
Mm.
fear and all of those negative things. Well, I want to do something. I want to create a concert series or an event that is all about kindness, empathy,
Mhm.
love, compassion. Let's bring people together. And I don't care what color a hat you wear or
Right.
whatever. It
Right.
doesn't matter.
Right.
Everybody's human. We are all, I believe we're all one. That's what the Mighty One is about. We are all one. And so let's bring people together and really foster this kindness, and especially in young people, to give them
Especially.
hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, and create these communities, these kindness communities.
Man, Tim, you never cease to amaze me, man. That's why you stay busy. But I
I'm just
appreciate it.
I'm just following my heart, Troy. I'm just following my heart,
Mhm.
and I'm listening to that voice inside, which, like I say, I believe we're all sparks of the one, of the big
Right.
one, and so we all have this beautiful divine light inside of us, and it behooves us to share that,
Right.
and to be a lighthouse in this storm. That's what I'm about. I'm about creating lighthouses, helping people become lighthouses in their community.
I love it. So we will get more of the information later on to the show, that you can help whoever in the community that needs some assistance. And I'm sure you got great numbers or whatever to sites to send people to get them some help. But let's finish the rest of your tour.
Sure.
So let me start this one right here.
Okay.
Whoa, yeah, yeah, yeah. When I was just 13, when rock and roll was king, that's when I joined the Kiss Army. Destroyer in my hand, the cover dark and glam, it lit a flame inside of me. I wanna see the light, I wanna feel the flames. Whoa, yeah, burning, burning, whoa. The torch of rock and roll, hold it high, heal your soul. I turned 24, Paul Stanley at my door, record deal, and dreams come true. But then
Wow. That is cool stuff, man.
Yeah.
So tell me about that the signings you were doing. Where was that located at, and what was going on?
So that was a really cool city called Cali, and Cali is a very interesting city because there's a huge Caribbean influence there. So a lot of folks from the Caribbean there. Just maybe one of the most dangerous cities we went to, but at the same time, one of the most interesting. We got to play this beautiful theater. It's there in the video, and like it's a very historic theater, and the people were incredible. It was a sit down theater show, which was different. That was the only one like that we did. Usually people were up at the front rocking out, but this was more a sit and watch the band kind of show. But it was really, really cool. It was the second to last show. The cool thing is that we got to drive. So we flew everywhere, but just simply because the roads in Colombia going through the Andes can be super dangerous.
Okay.
And long travel in between. So most of the places we flew to, sometimes it was one or two flights to get there. But this last leg of the tour, we flew to Armenia, where we went to the university and stuff. And we actually got a van. We hired a van, nice 19-passenger van. And then we drove from there. We drove to Pereira and then drove to Cali and flew back from Cali to Bogota. But that drive through those cities was just, and through the mountains, so green. Like we're talking about, this is the Juan Valdez zone, you know what I mean, where they grow coffee and stuff that. So it's so lush and green and clean, and just incredible. So I was really happy to have that opportunity to spend a few hours in the van and just see things from the road instead of just seeing them from the air.
I do. So let me go ahead and hit the next clip. You're gonna keep it moving.
All right.
my garden. My garden was a place where the flowers grew, but it's choked with weeds since I learned the truth. The wind blew warm and the rain was kind, but the seasons have changed here in my mind. Oh, don't let the sun burn down on me. Oh, the garden in my mind. The garden in my mind. The garden in my mind. So I called the gardener to come on in. He says the problem started with the seeds of sin. He cleaned my garden, he was fast and cheap, but now the weeds are back and the roots run deep. Oh, don't let the sun burn down on me. Oh, the garden in my mind. Oh, look in my eyes and you will see. Oh, the garden in my mind. The garden in my mind. The garden in my.
Bro, that is just amazing. Was that the university you were talking about?
That was the university, yeah, yeah, and
Wow.
those people were just so we were playing in Medellin the night before we went there, and we in order to catch the flight to get to Armenia, we had to leave the hotel at 4 in the morning. We didn't even get back to the hotel. So anyways, we had a bit of a nap, and then anyways, by the time we got to Armenia, it was about noon, I guess, and the van picked us up and said, "Hey, you've been invited to the university. They want to meet you and make plans for tonight and tomorrow." And I said, "Okay, great, let's go." And so I figured, okay, we're going to go meet the dean and his wife. But we get there to the university, there's a freaking receiving line of faculty professors. So here we are, these stinky rock and rollers that have had 3 hours sleep, and shaking hands with all these people. And then we went and sat in the boardroom with the dean and his wife and photographers and videographers, and like it was just this huge event. And they had nice fresh empanadas for us and coffee.
Hello.
And it was the most incredible thing. They were just the most gracious hosts, and we've developed a relationship. I actually spoke yesterday virtually from the mountain here in Whistler. I actually spoke to the students and did just a short 20-minute instructional on this discipline practice with them. So
cool.
we developed a great relationship with them. And Troy, I'm pretty confident that next year we're probably going to visit a number of universities in Colombia, do the same thing. It'll probably involve actually doing a Mighty One concert at those universities. So doing a talk during the day, teaching these disciplines in the afternoon, and then a concert with the Mighty One in the evening.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to just ask one question,
Yeah.
and basically, you know, which moment that if you could push the pause button and just kind of stay there for a little bit, out of all these places and events and people that you did, which one would you say is the one that's most memorable that you would like to just sit into it for a little bit longer?
I would say it's probably, speaking at the university
Wow.
in front of the faculty. I led them through a guided meditation. Everybody had their hand on their heart.
Hmm.
And I opened my eyes in the middle of that meditation and I looked at all these people and I went, "Is this really happening right now?" Like, you know what I mean?
That's
Like
awesome.
it's very much like winning at the ISSAs, which
Hmm.
has been a big dream of mine, and I continue to have that visualization of holding a Grammy award in my hand.
It's
Um,
coming. It's coming.
um, I had also had this visualization of speaking in front of a big audience of people at an institution that is changing lives.
Mm.
And I told them that when we came out of the meditation, I said, I just want to let you know, thank you so much for making my dream come true, making my dream a
Wow.
reality, because it's happening right now. I mean, the hair was standing up on my whole body. I was just vibrating with this, like,
Mm.
everything is possible. If you are willing to take the risk and you're willing to put in the hard work, everything is possible. So,
Right.
yeah, that moment of me opening my eyes and looking out and seeing 350 faculty members with their hands on their heart, yeah,
Mm.
that's what sticks out.
That is a picture and a half. So look, my brother, you and I could easily talk till to 2 hours in, and I don't
Yeah.
want to do that to you. So let the people know, one, how they can find you, and then two, share with them, for those who are struggling with the ideas of suicide, on how they can get some help.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for the mighty one, the mighty one dot rocks is sort of the main portal where you'll find everything, including links to social media, our videos, etc., etc. And then for personal, timsteinruck.com. You can come there. There's there's some resources that I have there, and you can also send me a message there if you are looking for some help. I am more than happy to reach out and connect with you. I have some great tools that I can send you that I'm very happy to share. No strings attached. You know what I mean? If you're interested in finding out more about this um, discipline practice that I've been practicing for over 5 years now, and we've got a very growing community. Um, you know, just reach out to me. Social media, I'm very active, as you know, Troy, on social media.
Yes, he
So
is.
whether that's Facebook or whether that's Instagram or TikTok, doesn't matter. Just send me a message. I get back to every person that reaches out to me. But if you're struggling and you need some help right away, you know, um, just do it. Just call me. There are some sources out there, right?
Hmm.
That you can get, but anything that I can do personally, I am more than happy to do. And I just I just love humans, dude. I love humans, Troy. I just do.
Right.
I mean, and I don't care if you're a good human or a bad human. Doesn't matter to me.
Right.
I love you all equally because we are all one.
There it is. I'm gonna tell you, we need more Tim Steinrucks in the world, man. I tell you, we need to bubble wrap you guys. Make sure we can keep you around for a long time. So Tim, please stick around for after the show.
All right, and thanks so
So
much, Troy, for having me on the show. I'm so grateful to Blast 247
thank you.
and love this Blaster show. And now that I'm back, we're going to be doing some more shows. I look
Oh
forward to
yeah.
hosting a few myself.
There it is. I'm gonna tell you, Blaster. has its little rocky road moments, but we're going to be coming in strong. We have a new hostess, which you guys will love. So we have a lot of amazing stuff. And of course, Michael Botte is not going anywhere. He is still a host here at Blaster. So thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We love you guys. Please be safe. This is the Veep. We're signing off. We will see you soon. Take care.